Meghan Markle is facing a lawsuit that no one saw coming, and this time, it's not from the press, a royal insider, or a disgruntled relative. This time, it's from an independent artist named Starisha, who claims the Duchess of Sussex used her work, a viral anthem, signature dance, and entire aesthetic, without permission. Meghan, who's known for advocating for women and speaking out about fairness, is now being accused of doing the very opposite. The song in question wasn't just background noise, it was deeply personal to its creator. And now, with legal action underway and Starisha speaking out publicly, the story is unfolding like a modern-day drama, one where creativity meets controversy. As this legal battle heats up, one thing's clear. This is no ordinary copyright dispute. This is about power, identity, and who gets to own the narrative. And trust me, it only gets messier from here. It started with a bold post, and now it's headed to court. Starisha didn't hold back when she publicly accused Meghan Markle of stealing her song and style. What seemed like a creative tribute has now exploded into a full-blown lawsuit. Starisha claims Meghan used her viral track Baby Mama, along with the accompanying dance and visual vibe, in a polished pregnancy video, all without credit, consent, or compensation. In her words, "They'll use your style, but never support you." That line hit hard, and it resonated. What began as a call-out is now a legal challenge with real consequences. Starisha isn't backing down, she's demanding accountability. And Meghan, usually quick to comment on social issues, has remained completely silent. That silence, it's only adding fuel to the fire. But what makes this lawsuit especially explosive is what the song itself actually means. Baby Mama isn't just a catchy track, it's a rallying cry. For many women, especially Black mothers, it's an anthem of pride, survival, and strength. Starisha poured her heart into the song, crafting something raw and personal. So when Meghan used it, in a video celebrating her own motherhood, it wasn't just borrowing music, it was borrowing meaning. The issue here isn't about a clip being too short, or the usage being harmless. It's about erasure. When someone with Meghan's platform uses a song like this, and doesn't even mention the artist, it sends a very loud, very dangerous message that the art matters, but the artist doesn't. For someone who built her image on empowerment, that contradiction is jarring, especially when it happens at such a vulnerable, emotional moment. But that wasn't the only thing Meghan borrowed. Meghan's pregnancy video was personal and polished. It spread across platforms like wildfire, celebrated by fans and media alike. But beneath the sweet visuals and glowing messages was something else: Starisha's art. The video featured Baby Mama in the background, paired with soft shots, intimate moments, and a clear sense of branding. The problem? Starisha wasn't credited, tagged, or even acknowledged. As the views climbed and headlines praised Meghan's authenticity, the creator behind the music was left invisible. It wasn't just a song placement, it was a full aesthetic lift, from sound to spirit. The video didn't just go viral, it drove engagement, built Meghan's public image, and likely increased her brand reach. But for Starisha, it was a moment she should have owned. And instead, she watched it unfold without her name attached. And that wasn't where the borrowing stopped. Meghan's influence isn't just big, it's global. Every post, appearance, or partnership reaches millions. So when she uses someone's work, it doesn't just sit quietly online, it becomes part of culture. That's exactly what happened with Starisha's art. One moment it belonged to a small, tight-knit community. The next, it was plastered across headlines and celebrity accounts. Without the artist, Meghan's silence wasn't just a missed tag, it felt like a dismissal. With her massive reach, even a small shout-out could have changed Starisha's life. Instead, the creator was cut out of her own creation. And when silence replaces recognition, it sends a deeper message that some voices matter more than others. But according to court documents, this wasn't just about a song. The legal claim goes far beyond music. Starisha says Meghan didn't just use her song, she mirrored the dance that made it go viral. The moves were distinctive, bold, and instantly recognizable to those who knew the original. But that wasn't all. The visuals in Meghan's video also mimicked Starisha's creative style. The lighting, the tone, even the wardrobe hints. According to the lawsuit, it was a full aesthetic copy. And the real kicker? Meghan allegedly monetized that moment through ad partnerships, content licensing, or brand deals that fed off the viral video's success. For Starisha, this wasn't just artistic theft. It was a hijacking of her voice, her image, and her livelihood. The evidence is piling up, but what stings even more is the irony behind it all. Here's where the contradiction becomes impossible to ignore. Meghan Markle has spent years championing inclusion, supporting underrepresented voices, and calling out injustice, especially when it affects women of color. That's part of what made her so admired by fans around the world. But now, she's facing accusations of doing the very thing she's spoken out against, exploiting another woman's work. And not just any woman. A Black independent artist trying to be seen in a system that often overlooks her. Meghan's silence is deafening. It's not just the absence of a response, it's the presence of indifference. For someone whose brand is built on empathy, that lack of acknowledgement cuts deep. And for Starisha, this fight isn't just personal, it's part of something much bigger. Starisha didn't stay quiet. Instead of fading into the background, she stepped into the spotlight and made sure her voice was heard. In interviews, on social media, and through legal filings, she laid it all out. The song, the dance, the style, all hers. She spoke about the emotional weight behind Baby Mama and how painful it was to see her work used without a single ounce of credit. She wasn't asking for praise, just recognition. Her tone wasn't angry, but raw. And the public listened. Support poured in from fellow creators, fans, and advocates who saw the pattern. How often small, independent artists, especially Black women, get their work co-opted by bigger names without acknowledgement. What started as a call-out evolved into a movement, and the more Starisha shared, the clearer the message became. This wasn't about ego. This was about dignity. Copyright law is tricky, especially when it comes to music, choreography, and internet culture. Meghan's team might argue that the use was short, non-commercial, or transformed enough to fall under fair use. But Starisha's lawsuit claims the opposite. It wasn't just a song sample, it was the heart of the video. And when you use someone's creative identity without credit, and that content boosts your personal brand, it can cross into infringement. The choreography adds another layer. Dance is protected under copyright, but only if it's distinctive, and Starisha says her viral routine meets that standard. Meanwhile, the look and feel of the video, down to the lighting and outfit styling, build a case for trade dress theft, a lesser-known but powerful legal tool in creative disputes. In short, the lawsuit isn't weak. It's detailed, deliberate, and potentially explosive. Meghan may not have expected this, but now she has to face it in court. This isn't the first time Meghan's silence has raised eyebrows. Over the years, there have been other moments, smaller, perhaps, less public, where she's faced questions about how she handles credit and collaboration. Some former colleagues have quietly noted how Meghan's projects often spotlight her, while the people behind the scenes get left out. It doesn't always make headlines, but those whispers have grown louder over time. And now, with this lawsuit, those whispers feel louder than ever. Meghan's refusal to acknowledge Starisha publicly, even with a simple statement, has shifted public perception. Some fans still defend her, saying this is all just a misunderstanding, but others see a pattern. Meghan positions herself as a champion of creatives, yet disappears when accountability comes knocking. And in this case, the silence feels less like grace and more like avoidance. As expected, the internet has exploded, but it's not unified. On one side are Meghan's die-hard supporters, who dismiss the lawsuit as a reach or an opportunistic attack. They argue that Meghan, as a frequent target of media smears, is simply being dragged into another controversy by someone looking for clout. On the other side are fans of Starisha, and more broadly, fans of creative fairness, who say this is exactly the kind of behavior that needs to be called out, regardless of who's involved. The debate has gotten messy. Some are revisiting Meghan's past brand collaborations, asking tough questions about credit, sourcing, and originality. Others are calling this a moment of reckoning, one where even the most carefully curated public figures must face the same scrutiny as anyone else. And in the middle, people wondering why Meghan still hasn't said a word. Here's the wild part. This all could have been avoided. If Meghan or her team had simply reached out, licensed the song, credited the artist, or even acknowledged the inspiration, the controversy may never have happened. In fact, it could have been a powerful collaboration. Imagine Meghan lifting up Starisha instead of erasing her. That's the version of events fans would have loved to see, a global icon spotlighting a grassroots creator. It would have fit Meghan's brand perfectly. But instead, what we got was silence, erasure, and now a courtroom battle. It raises a haunting question. Does Meghan only champion voices when it benefits her image? Because when it truly matters, when it costs nothing but could mean everything, she vanishes. And now, the damage may already be done. There's something bigger happening beneath the surface. This case is about more than just one song or one video. It's about how society treats creators, especially women of color, versus how it treats powerful figures who use their work. Starisha represents the overlooked artist, the person who builds something beautiful only to see it co-opted by someone with more fame, more money, more reach. Meghan represents the polished public figure, the archetype of empowerment, polished perfection, and curated feminism. But when those two forces collide, the imbalance becomes impossible to ignore. It forces us to ask, who gets to be celebrated? Who gets to be heard? And when the dust settles, whose story gets remembered? Right now, the legal wheels are turning. Starisha's lawyers have filed their claims, and Meghan's team is likely preparing a defense. The outcome is uncertain. These cases rarely end in court. Settlements, NDAs, and private agreements are common. But regardless of how this ends legally, the damage to Meghan's image is real. The lawsuit has already been picked up by international press. Creators are speaking out, and the narrative has shifted from inspiring mom to uncredited user. Even if Meghan quietly resolves the issue behind closed doors, the public memory will linger. Every future video, song choice, or creative post will now be viewed under a microscope. The trust is cracked, and unless she addresses it directly, that crack could deepen into a fracture. At the heart of this story is a cultural reckoning. In the age of virality, creators make trends, but rarely profit from them. Their work is borrowed, reshaped, and repackaged, often by celebrities or corporations with more power and visibility. Starisha's lawsuit isn't just a personal battle, it's part of a growing call for change. Credit the source, pay the creator. Don't erase the origin story. Meghan's actions, or lack thereof, have become a case study in what happens when that call is ignored. And as more artists find their voice, these moments won't be swept aside. They'll be amplified, dissected, and remembered. This story may have started with one video, but its message is echoing far beyond Meghan Markle's feed. So where does this leave Meghan Markle? In a complicated place. She's still admired by many, still seen as a symbol of strength. But now, there's a shadow, a serious public question about how she treats the very voices she claims to support. For Starisha, this fight is about more than credit. It's about being seen, heard, and respected. And for the rest of us, it's a reminder that influence without accountability isn't empowerment. It's exploitation. Meghan still has a chance to make this right, but if she doesn't speak up soon, her silence might say more than any statement ever could. Because in this new era, where creators are finally demanding their due, ignoring them isn't just risky, it's a reputation killer.